it drives me crazy when I see people repost stuff about themselves doing something good. And that's just, I know I might be in the minority on that, but as Brad just said, like, you don't have to do that stuff, man. Like, let other people post. If they want to post great things you've done, great. But when these kids at 11, 12, 13 start reposting, it just is a bad look. It's not a good look. And it just, as you said, Brad, it comes across selfish to me, is what it does.
Well, totally. I mean, it's you're just promoting yourself. In most aspects of life, we teach our kids, not to do that. That's not a positive thing. So why? Because you have a vehicle that makes it easy to do that, and lots of people do it. Does that mean that's okay? And I mean, the answer is no. If you promote yourself like crazy on social media, then you end up, it just makes you, focused on yourself. And we know that's not a good thing. Brad, you brought up the whole comparison thing, and you said something that I think is important to underscore is that we know that teenagers are in their most vulnerable time of life in terms of self-consciousness. It's the most self-conscious time of life. And social media just presses on that button like crazy as people post the highlights of their life, not any of the lowlights, but all the highlights of their life. And it causes kid to think, I'm don't measure up. My body's not right. The way I dress isn't right. The way I perform isn't right. I'm not popular because I'm not getting invited to that party. There's just all those types of things. And that happens in sports as well. There's a study that I found that is a pretty recent study, and they looked at a whole number of kids who played sports or used to play sports, and a very high percentage of them quit sports because of comparisons on social media and body image, and just looking at the bodies out there and saying, well, I can't be good at this sport because I don't look like that. And that's a staggering thing.
Or just the fact that, it's not nowadays, it's not just the high school game that's blowing up on X or on TikTok. It's every single AAU and travel game and the kids don't know that it's not a great tournament, or they don't know that it's, that you see these other kids, promoting themselves, and sometimes it's their coaches promoting them, which is fine, I guess, but they're looking at these kids that are like, all of them look like they're doing great. And, in the baseball, social media, travel baseball, it looks like every kid's hitting 600, and hitting 20 bombs, every summer. And so a kid looks at that, or looks at an AAU, that kid, kid's averaging a double or whatever. Well, I can't do that. I can't, that's who I'm competing against, which it's not, but, because those kids aren't that good, or they're the top 2%. And so, yeah, it's discouraging to kids to say, wow, I mean, I'm not going to be able to compete. So why even do it?
Yeah, and it's funny you say that because it's like you only see the videos of the kid getting a double off the wall. Like you didn't see a video of the kid getting carved up on three pitches, walking back. And me and Katie laugh about that all the time because even outside of sports, like you said, Britt, it gives a false expectation. Like we've seen people, even friends of ours, post stuff like how sweet their kids are at bedtime and bedtime's great. And I'm like, our house is an absolute you know what at bedtime. Like, I'm like, there's no way their house is. We got four kids. Lay with me, pray here, do. And it's like, oh my gosh, rip your head off. And these people are acting like every night's the sweetest 30 minutes at bedtime. And I'm like, well, good Lord, but it is funny because, I think social media is good for some. I enjoy following some of the people that show real life stuff, right? Like this is what we go through every day. You appreciate that. And then you have some, like you said, that it's just everything is great all the time. And it's like, we all know that's not true. And we all know that you don't live life that way. But I think you set expectations for our kids that either they can't reach or they're false. Like you said, this kid got 3 hits that tournament. Well, he might have been 3 for 20 and they only showed the 3 hits.
You touched on something I want to talk about a little bit, and that's parents posting about their kids or posting about their family. And again, you're moving into this arena where your kids are going to, for the next 10 years, your kids are going to be involved in things and they're going to achieve things. And so when is it okay? And again, there's no right or wrong here, but let's just talk about, philosophically, when's it okay for parents to post about their kids' achievements? And when is it like, okay, enough is enough?
Well, I'll take this one to start and give Brad time. I see Brad needs a minute to think about what he's going to say.
I'm afraid I'm gonna have an extreme answer. So you go ahead.
No, I think, look, every once in a while, if your kid does something great, like, I'm okay with it. I really am. Like, if you play summer ball, basketball all summer, and at the very end of the summer, hey, what a great summer it was. Samantha dropped 25 in this game and we had a blast. We learned a lot, whatever you show, that's fine. But if you're seeing post after post, game after game after game, I think that's where it's like, okay, enough's enough. And, again, I think you teeter on what are you trying to get out of this? Are you trying to promote your kid? Are you promoting the team? Are you promoting the experiences that they've had? So I think, there's not a right or wrong on this, but I think we all know, right? If you're seeing someone be promoted constantly, I think that's where you're like, time out. That's a little much for me.
What do you think? And I'll share.
I don't think there's that many times you should promote your kid. I just think, like, look, now if you want to, like, I've sent you guys a text of, Brady hitting a home run, something like that. But I mean, I just don't think it's a good look. I think like Jeff said, if you want to, if there's a really, really sweet moment and your kid is like, really been struggling and then had that moment that you want to, but I mean, is it something that you have to tell the world? I mean, it may be something you could send it out to your family, your friends. Even if it's, I don't know, like if they had a walk off in the state championship game, like Jeff Francoeur, or they score the winning touchdown, yeah, maybe, but it's already out there. Like, do you have to promote it? And I don't know. I just think that, I mean, they're gonna get, if they do something great, they're already gonna get the congratulations at the moment. They're gonna get congratulations at their school. The family's going to know about it. Do you have to promote it on social media? And I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something, but I just don't think it's a great thing.
I mean, I generally agree with that. I think less is more here. I kind of feel like, I think we're all saying the same thing. I kind of feel like if there's a major achievement, then, I think that's okay. But I think your context ought to be like, why am I doing this? And if you come on the side of saying, okay, I want to speak in, I want to, celebrate this achievement, then I think it's okay. But if you're doing that a lot, and a lot of people do it a lot, we used to call, when our kids were younger, we used to call Facebook brag book, because it just seemed like there were some people out there that just constantly, bragging about their kids doing sometimes little things. It's like, okay, and for the most part, I think, kind of what you said, Jeff, there's part of me, it's like, why do you need to tell everybody? Nobody cares about all these little things going on.
It makes me think of guys. Me and my wife laugh all the time. My favorite comedian, Sebastian Maniscalco, who is hilarious, does this great thing where he's talking about that self-promotion. And he's like, if little Timmy scored 28 points, I don't care. Nobody cares. And he's like, now, if little Timmy can jump over the house from the front to the back, yeah, I want to see that. Like, show me that. But it is true. Like, there's sweet moments to promote it. And like you said, like, if there's a team accomplishment, if there's something going, I think that's kind of cool. And I'm okay with that. But when it's just continuously promotion of your kid, I'm with you, man. Nobody wants to continuously see it. Like you said, Brad, I think you gave a great point. Like how you sent me and Britt and some of your buddies, like, look what Britt, we walked through life with you. That's a totally different scenario. I have my small group where I send a lot of stuff that I'm excited for my kids, even excited for myself, maybe that I did something cool. But that's a small circle of people.
And you don't ever see the post that said, my kid didn't play a lot this year, but he was a great teammate or she was a great team. Like that would be something you may want to brag about. Like, my kid really struggled all year, but man, she was an awesome teammate. And that to me is like, that's okay. It's still kind of bragging a little bit, but you're not seeing, people don't post that. They post, oh man, she was amazing. She was, she had 14 spikes in this, club volleyball game. And you're right.
My kid got cut.
Yeah.
She's great.
Yeah. She's a super kid, she's awesome. But yeah, it's, I don't know. Maybe again, I may get heat for this, but I don't see the need for it.
I think most people feel that way. They just don't say it.
Well, I'm saying it, so I'll take the heat.